If somebody's sitting in an apartment right now watching this, they don't have a septic system. They want to know where people in the frozen north, when they have a crap, where does it go? So right now we're just covering up one half of the septic field. I'll get some better footage when we do the other half. A little more time today to film. But essentially this is the center point here, the distribution box, and we'll have a run over the system before we bury it all so you can have a better understanding of how it works. It's pretty straightforward septic field. Nice change of pace for me. Haven't hammered a nail in 3 days. This is pretty decent. So all the important infrastructure around the distribution box, the piping, all gets bedded in a clean sand. Because you can see this is real bony ground. These are heavy, big heavy rocks. Good for drainage. Not good for much else. See the holes here. Yeah, it's pretty close now. Yeah. There, that's a lot easier. Guy doesn't need to shovel more than he has to.
Just gonna dig that. Just let me get this corner here.
Sure.
Dig that.
So basically we're just prep. It's got to be level. The field for the infiltrators, which I'll show you what they are, is level. And we've already calculated in so we have the proper amount of drop from the distribution box, and then you just continue your way back. But it's a really tight site and it's a fairly big machine, so we've had to kind of start at one end and then work our way back to the other end rather than just being able to dig and do and set the whole field all at one time and then bury it. It's been kind of a front to back operation, so it makes it interesting. I just got to say, yesterday, the quality of the level wasn't a reflection of the tool trailer. Which one? The big one? That 2-footer, I'm pretty sure that was designated to be a concrete level, and
Okay. Yeah, because it
wasn't good.
No.
Oh yeah.
Here you. Just want to see. You see, like when it's like that.
Yep. Not. Yep.
You know, it's not. It needs to be up a bit.
Oh.
That goes over top.
Over top, like.
Tight. There. And now, are we lined up with the hole? Like, does it look like that we're the V box?
Which hole do you want to go to?
This one on that side. Where do we need to get to? There?
That's pretty good right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you this time.
You're pretty gracious. You haven't made fun of me one time in 3 days. That's.
I don't want you to leave.
I thought it meant more that you're saving it. You're like a kettle that's starting to boil, you know. And eventually, you're like, I gotta let it out a little bit. Okay, so off to a good start, eh? It's looking good. Okay, it's a pipe. Try our best to keep the sand out of everything. Look at all the ants.
Oh yeah, you set that rate on top of the ant pile. Or somebody did. That's exactly what the ant.
Gross. See, everybody focuses on the glamorous tools, right? The lasers and the cordless and the whole, you know. But I mean, you get paid the same with that. The beauty of Milwaukee cordless. Can't beat it. Lovely. Oh, this is too long. That's okay. Too long is a heck of a lot better than the alternative, which is, well, too short. Obviously from the D box, the distribution box here, to the inlet of the infiltrator, we're looking for downhill slope. 1/8 of an inch per foot is plenty at this point, but downhill she's got to be. Your primer, it's PVC, so PVC glue. Primer. Softens things up, cleans her up. Don't be shy with the glue. Never be shy with the glue. And as I've learned from the gentleman here that's in charge, expertise that really seals at the end of the fitting is got her dialed right there, right on the mark. So we're looking pretty good. Let that sit for a sec. You don't want to get greedy. Moving too fast. Good to have the glue at the ready. Preferably not on the ground by your feet, because that's how you kick it over. This is just a little jug of glue, but the quart size jug, $60 now for PVC glue. $60. You kick that over, you're having a bad day. Hold it. A little patience never hurt anybody. See all the marks lined up? Now, we fit. It's got to go to its final home. Now, in Whoop. Okay, quick run through here before we bury it. So we're putting in the sewer septic for this new house. So you're gonna see from out of the house, 4-inch ABS pipe. They got a nice clean out there for maintenance. They're insulating it to the tank. You got your caution tape buried. You don't want anybody digging that up later. This is where our portion started. Right here, port 1, port 2. This is a 1,000-gallon plastic septic tank. Now, common in our area, there's kind of two versions of plastic tanks. There's this one, which is a little bit lighter. It clips together. I believe there's one-piece plastic tanks, and then of course big heavy concrete tanks, and they're all about the same price. The concrete tank is a little more money because you have to employ a piece of equipment or a crane truck to move it, of course. So inlet in through one chamber, the second chamber, and maybe I'll get Garth to explain it a little bit better too. This of course is his profession. So from end to end, of course there's a 2-inch drop because you want flow out of the tank. Then we went out of the tank, which is buried. I showed you the pipe earlier. If you can see, right there, 4-inch sewer pipe. It's gonna be fed in 4-inch PVC to what they call a distribution box. Now this distribution box, you can see in here, goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 runs per side. That's your 4-inch inlet. We're gonna balance these so all the runs of the septic get fed even. And Garth's just gonna take a few pictures. He photo document all of these in case somebody needs to see later. So before we bury it, you can see chamber 1, 2, 3. These lines, of course, are the ones you watch me glue up, feeding back into the distribution box. And they're all sloped downhill to the chambers at roughly an 1/4 inch per foot. You know, water flows downhill. And then we're just gonna work our way back. I think there's 7 or 8 lengths a chamber. I'm not doing my job. No, I'm not paying attention.
Concentrating on the moneymaker, eh?
Hey?
Concentrating on the moneymaker, that video.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta have some fun once in a while. All right, well, we'll grab the laser and we're gonna dig a little bit further along. This is all just rough graded, like for finish. It's gonna get about 3 inches of topsoil on top, and then they're gonna plant grass on top of the septic field. Garth, he was telling me the idea is that it not only dissipates water out through the bottom, through the ground, but the intention is that it also draws some moisture up to the surface to the plants, to the grass, I guess. So these pipes here that we're backfilling around, they go in the top of the chamber at the midpoint of the septic field. So I think these are 8 chambers long. So in the 4th chamber, you have your inspection port, and it's for just what it sounds like it's for. Just a little hidey hole to have a peek down inside. Of course, that's for maintenance and inspection of the septic field. I mean, for the homeowner, usually probably don't have to do anything with it. But in the case of mortgages, you know, if there's some sort of complaint or just general maintenance, because it needs to be checked, you can feed a camera in at the midpoint. You can feed a camera from the distribution box, and it's equal length, is my understanding. So you can see what you know, what's going on in there, all the goodies. We ended up with too much material here, so he's gonna bring in the truck and get rid of a little bit. It makes for light work when you got the right tools. Yeah, we're right in there. For any of you guys that are curious, Hitachi 135. Get a shot of the end.
What's that?
End caps. End. So basically it's just an end cap to keep the dirt out.
Yep.
All these ones do. So what situation would you cut the side out? Like, I see like different elevations. If it's just
you're coming into the from the distribution box. Sometimes
so if you're at a different
side instead, just because of site restrictions.
I got you. Just more options.
More options, yeah.
And then have you ever, like, it seems odd you'd have a scenario where you'd be coming in the bottom port, like it's only an inch off the ground.
Yeah.
You ever use those?
I would never use that option if you can, because with the way they work, the chambers work, I mean, they've actually got perforations all the way up the side, right?
Yeah, I see the slotted holes.
So for the life expectancy of it, you would want it to be as high as possible.
Right.
Because
the lower it is, it plugs.
Yeah, the lower it is, it plugs. So then you later on in its life, you would get the effluent going out the side ports instead of right down the bottom.
I got you. And obviously,
and then it could trickle away from there, right?
I mean, ideally,
it's the mat, the organic mat layer that's created in the septic trench that will end the life of a.
Oh, that ends it.
Yeah.
It grows up and plugs.
Well, you've seen it, that tarry black.
Yeah, yeah. So these on the chambers, these are all perforated on the sides, and they all face down, so dirt's not supposed to go in.
Yeah.
It's supposed to shed it like a roof, eh?
Supposed to.
Hmm.
I think they do a pretty good job.
You know, it is interesting because, I mean, you say, oh, how would you know? Well, that the inspection ports is how you know.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, you
just, with the days of the cameras now, and you got a place to put them in,
you can see.
You can see.
Because, I mean, the only circumstance comes to mind is like for financing purposes, if you're going to buy this home, banks might require you to have it inspected.
They all do, yeah.
But are you supposed to have this scoped is that part of the maintenance, or is it just if you suspect there's a problem?
Just if you suspect
there's a
problem. It's not usually part of the
Interesting.
Having said that, a maintenance provider would definitely look at an older system, right? If they had a camera, they'd be looking at it. Because of course you don't want it to fail and then people be caught.
Well, you don't want to start working on something if you don't know the condition of it, I guess. Is this still thing on? Oh yeah, I think so. So now, we fill the D-box full of water so we can set the speed levelers. I'll show you out of the hole because I don't know how easy it'll be to see. So that's what they call a speed leveler. And essentially, the speed leveler just goes in the end of the pipe, and then you can rotate it to adjust where the height of the water can enter the run to go out to the septic field. right, we are out of here. Engineer just came through, gave the green light, but let's take the opportunity just to run over this one more time. Come out of the house, 18 inches below grade, clean out, 4-inch clean out. Then she runs downhill to the septic tank, roughly 1/4 inch per foot. Chamber 1, chamber 2. So tank alarm. So basically the tank alarm will indicate if the tank gets up above a certain level. So it'll indicate a plug downstream, alarm you in the house, and you know, hopefully save you the trouble of having that sewage coming in. Yuck. So then of course we ran out of the tank. We showed that, if of course I get the clips in the right order, into the distribution box, which I showed you the inside. It had our 6 runs with the speed levelers that were adjusted to make sure the flow rate is evenly distributed between all 6 runs. Then we have our chambers, our 8 length of chambers ran out in each direction, and these are the inspection ports. Awesome job. So there you go, pretty simple. There's lots of different kinds of septic systems, but this is a simple field, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you on the next one.